This is Beyond a Reasonable Doubt with your hosts, Mark Garrigus and Gary Smith.
Well, welcome, young GPS. How are you today?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
Very good. I'm always good at the altar of Bart on a Sunday morning. You got plans for today? Chargers or what are we doing?
Well, the Chargers played on Thursday night against the Raiders, and I don't believe it went well for them. But who knows? But this Sunday, I'm going to be spending some time with my family. There's a birthday in the family, so we're going to spend some time together and try to soak up the good times. I like your shirt.
I love it. You've got the youngsters at a great age for Christmas. So,
yeah, it's the best.
Drink it in. You found a gem today. I was just complimenting you because I watched it on the walk over here. Why don't we lead off with that? Because I thought it was spectacular.
Absolutely. Here we go. Let's start with this.
Page 16 of Brett Kavanaugh's article removes all doubt about what Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh actually thinks. Quote, the framers thus appeared to anticipate that a president who commits serious wrongdoing should be impeached by the House and removed from office by the Senate and then prosecuted thereafter. The Constitution itself seems to dictate, in addition, that congressional investigation must take place in lieu of criminal investigation when the president is the subject of investigation, and that criminal prosecution can occur only after the president has left office.
Okay.
And right there.
So let me just call a timeout here. Talk about the law of unintended consequences. That statement that was mind you, this was written by Justice Kavanaugh, Brett Kavanaugh.
Correct.
And they're using this they think, or Lawrence thinks, and by the way, I think he's a very, very bright man. He's got great experience at the Senate. I will tell you I will make the prediction. They're going to take that argument, and that argument fits exactly into the double jeopardy argument that has been made by the president's lawyers. The double jeopardy argument is, okay, we did the congressional investigation. We were impeached by the House, tried by the Senate, acquitted. You don't get a second bite at the apple to try him criminally again because he already was once in jeopardy in the Senate. So that is the blueprint for the once in jeopardy argument that is going to be made and where Kavanaugh is going to go. It's unbelievable to me that they would be making that argument, that is what is going to undercut the immunity argument, because that completely supports the argument that's going to be made that he's once in jeopardy.
Well, he's not done. He continues to double down from there. Let's keep watching. Where do I have it here? Sorry, I just want to make sure I pick the right clip. Where is this? Huh. It's not showing up for me to share. Just give me a moment here. I'm sure I can figure it out.
Okay. I'm sure you'll cut it, splice and dice it.
Oh, here it is. Here we go.
And right there, in writing, Brett Kavanaugh destroys the totality of Donald Trump's appeal to the United States Supreme Court. The Constitution says that after leaving the presidency, Donald Trump is, quote, subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to law. It's all over. It's all over. The presidential immunity that Donald Trump's constitutionally illiterate criminal defense lawyers have invented is a fiction that will likely be crushed by the Supreme Court unanimously. Any member of the Supreme Court trying to rule for Donald Trump will have to find a way to rewrite the line of the Constitution that says that a former president is, quote, subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to law. It cannot be done. You cannot rewrite that line.
No, in fact, you don't have to rewrite that line. The line is going to be shoved right back up the special counsel's throat or down their throat, because they're going to say that that is precisely why he was once in jeopardy. I don't even understand. Talk about wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Remember when we had another commentator predict that they were going to rule on the gag order from the bench and dissolve it, and they did exactly the opposite in the D.C. Circuit.
Yep.
The 3 democratically appointed judges in the circuit court not only didn't dissolve it, they restricted it greatly to the point where I don't even know how you enforce it. Number one. Number two, for all of those who were just positive that there was going to be a trial that was going to happen in March, that's not going to happen, because the district court judge, put her own order out that said that may be a problem. And the idea that I would love to take this bet, I'll bet you 2 bottles of Don Julio and give you 10-1. On the fact that this is not going to be a unanimous opinion, that in fact they are missing the point here of what the argument is. And to call the lawyers criminally illiterate, it's actually, they have done a spectacular job of sequencing these motions. And what do I mean by that? Sequencing the motions. So they waited until December to have Her Honor at the district court deny the immunity argument after they waited for the D.C. Circuit to rule in the civil context. Then they file it in the criminal context, then knowing that they can take an interlocutory writ.
Yep.
And that's why Jack Smith is now running to the U.S. Supreme Court and asking for an expedited hearing. Yeah,
it's just, frankly, obviously the channel that Lawrence O'Donnell appears on has a point of view that they're trying to subscribe to, and they're trying to, give the people what they want, so to speak. But the idea that it is going to be certainly unanimous is really hard to swallow. I don't even think I would take your 10-1 odds.
I don't even understand I understand there's the kind of the wish fulfillment angle, but this is a significant issue. And by the way, it's a case of first impression. First impression meaning no president has been prosecuted after he leaves office, after winning and being acquitted in the Senate in an impeachment. The lines that were written and the Constitution make a pretty compelling argument for he's already been once in jeopardy.
Right. Absolutely. So it's, the fact that MSNBC is over here using those lines as though they're the magic bullet, they might be, just not for the angle that they think.
Right. And this idea that somehow pumping people up, that there is no other argument. How do you deal with that? How do you say there is no other argument when you have proven the other argument has legs? So beyond me, I know that, we'll see in the comments, am I auditioning for the defense team? No, I'm not auditioning for the defense team. I'm just trying to point out the fact that there is a cogent argument that has never been decided yet that will be decided. And I don't know why the expedient motion that Jack Smith has asked for will necessarily need to be addressed, other than you want the trial to take place before the election. That's the only reason. There is no compelling reason other than you want to convict the leading candidate of the opposition party before the election, because otherwise, why do you need to have this trial done before November, the November election?
Exactly. But, on the flip side, the Supreme Court has indicated, to correct me if I'm wrong, that they are intending to pick this up quickly and make a ruling. Is that not the case?
What they've asked for Trump's lawyers to respond to the petition.
Right.
They could deny the petition, let the district court decide it, or they could say, no, we want to decide this. There's a number of possibilities, but in any event, I don't see, unless something that happens that I'm missing, how you ever hold that March date, which everybody has been saying all along is going to hold, and he's going to go to get tried on that March date. I don't see how that ever happens.
Yeah, it seems pretty unlikely the more that things unfold, but you wouldn't know it if you're only watching Lawrence O'Donnell.
Well, like I say, I like Lawrence. I think he's got a great brain. But there's on this issue, I couldn't disagree more.
Yep, absolutely. So I guess sticking with Trump world, there was a headline that I saw. I sent you sometime over this week that Michael Cohen is back in hot water. People will remember him for being a one-time Trump ally who then, kind of turned on him and has since been a very vocal opponent, I would say, for lack of a better term, a pundit against him. And this was the headline. Michael Cohen's former attorney ordered to explain, citing cases the judge believes do not exist.
This is an interesting nuance. As I understand it, Michael Cohen filed a motion through his new lawyer, who is Danya Perry, who's just a very accomplished ex-prosecutor / defense lawyer in New York City. And she's filed a motion to have, I believe, early termination of
his supervised release.
Of his supervised release. The judge has pushed back because asking if he wasn't bait and switched by the filings of a previous lawyer, not Danya,
right,
that had cited cases and rulings of the circuit court there in New York that apparently, at least according to the judge, and I have no reason to doubt that this isn't true, don't exist. And so, boy, you find yourself in be careful what you wish for, be careful. It reminds me sometimes where clients are insistent that I file something, and I keep telling them this is the last place you want to go because you're going to stir up a hornet's nest. And it appears that that's what's happened here, because there's somebody has caught on, in the clerk or the judge himself or herself, to the fact that maybe they were sold a bill of goods, if you will, on cases that don't exist. It'll be interesting to see how the response. I can hardly wait to read the response. I'm sure Danya will have a brilliant retort to that, but
she's certainly going to have to.
Interesting issue.
Apparently, one of the cited cases had a made-up docket number as well. So there's certainly some shenanigans afoot. So Danielle will have to wade in and figure out how to best navigate the waters that she's been dropped in.
Hey, everybody, what's up? It's Gina Grad. And when you're searching for the perfect piece of jewelry, it can be hard to find a brand you trust. Alex and Ani has been creating meaningful jewelry for over 20 years, designing pieces that connect you with all of life's important moments. With an emphasis on value, there is truly something for everyone. They've recently launched their everyday collection. I could not love it more. These pieces are made from stainless steel and an advanced water-resistant plating method that doesn't tarnish. It has the look of real gold. It's beautiful. I love these pieces because they feel so classic, but they have so much versatility. Alex and Ani are also featuring some gorgeous pieces that I have right here, like Black Lotus, this gorgeous Black Lotus charm necklace, and their Stay Wild pendant, and their Wings of Protection necklace that have a classic and vintage feel. See that? And of course, you can't forget their signature bangle bracelets, which I'm also wearing. And I have a lot of their stuff. I have the numerology bracelets. I have the hula dancer to commemorate a meaningful trip I took to Hawaii. From classic to bold statement pieces, Alex and Ani makes it easy to sprinkle your personality into each piece or make a truly meaningful gift for someone you care about. Meanwhile, you can take comfort in knowing that you're shopping with a socially conscious brand, as Alex and Ani has donated over $60 million to nonprofits worldwide, connecting fashion and philanthropy in an easy, fun, affordable way. Right now, Alex and Ani is offering our audience 20% off. So check their gorgeous collection out at alexandani.com and use the promo code MIDAS. That's MEIDAS at alexandani.com. Use that promo code at checkout for 20% off your order. Come and get something beautiful.
What else do you have to curate today?
So we have a clip from the Young Thug trial. We have the footage that came out of actor Jonathan Majors, who is in the middle of his trial.
I think that's a fascinating case. Why don't we take a look at the footage?
So I'm just going to
set this up.
Yeah. So there's no audio. I'm going to let this play and then I'm going to let you comment over it. But, there was an altercation between Majors and his then girlfriend, who apparently saw a text that she didn't like, presumably from another woman, or we're not sure, but an altercation happened. She was trying to get the phone from him. He was trying to keep the phone from her. Eventually he exits the vehicle. She follows him and gives chase, trying to, presumably get his phone or stop him from leaving. He then, as you see here, just bolts and runs away from her for several blocks.
He's running. So people understand he's running away. Somebody has pieced together all of the videos from various cameras and spliced it as what we would call a supercut. He's first trying to put her in the car. Then after putting her in the car, he's just taken off. He wants to absent himself. And she starts hassling him, hitting him, following him. Mind you, he's the one who's on trial. He's running away as you're watching this.
She's chasing.
She is following him. Somebody was, I don't know if it was on Twitter or one of the other lawyers in the office was telling me this reminds him of the Forrest Gump scene where he just keeps running and running. And that's what's happening here. And then I don't want to spoil it, but do we have the video of the body cam of when they finally find her the next morning?
The one where he gets the blanket and covers her up. I had it up earlier. I can probably find it if you vamp for a little while here, but
okay. So we're looking at this video and it's going from camera to camera for those of you who can't see. And she's chasing, he's running away. He's trying to extricate his situation from this. I'm told that the evidence as it was introduced is that she then goes to a nightclub, gets obliterated. I call it foobarred. And then he finds her the next morning when he goes to the apartment because he's worried about her safety. And she's half naked in a closet and completely obliterated. And there's a body cam video of it.
Yeah, we'll have
Mind you, this guy is the one who's being charged, and she is the purported victim, and I use that term loosely.
Yeah, here's the body cam video. I don't think there's any audio on this, but you can see that's Majors. He's being followed by a police officer. He goes up to a couch and grabs a blanket, and then he's going to walk upstairs. It takes quite a while because it's apparently a tall building. So he's going up a few flights of stairs, and eventually he goes into a closet where the supposed victim is on the floor, naked from the waist down, with another police officer. And he is going through the bedroom, and then soon he'll be into the closet. He gives her the blanket to cover up, and then is promptly told by the officers to remove himself from the area. So this is pretty much the body cam video of that next morning, I believe. So
it's hard to understand as you take a look at this, how in the world he gets charged in this case, as she is clearly either having a physical health crisis or she's obliterated after a night of debauchery, because this is the person that is your so-called, after she's done the run through the streets, this is the person that you're relying on to convict somebody in a criminal case where their liberty is at stake. Mind you, they then bring in previous texts, and they want to do what I always love to call the character assassination portion of these cases, where they say, okay, well, I know we've got a weak case here, but here's something that happened before. Just forget about what our evidence is now. We're gonna assassinate your character on some other. In New York they call it Molyneux, and here in California we call it 1101.
I believe they also had a voice memo of an argument that they had where he was frustrated with her for coming home drunk while he was having a business meeting, and had, a producer of one of his movies over. And depending on what Twitter account you see that video being posted from, it's either a controlling, misogynist who is, abusive, or I don't know, it's somewhat measured and, the kind of a conversation you would have with somebody who you were in a relationship with who was acting in a way that, concerned you. So it's just wild to see.
Thing. It'll be interesting by the time this drops, because for those who don't or haven't figured it out yet from Gary's Chargers comment, we're taping early.
I think that one was safe, Mark. You could have said nothing, and I would have been vindicated on that.
I don't know, Gary.
They don't have their quarterback or their best receiver. We're going to get our asses kicked tonight. But yes, we are recording this on Thursday, so if anything we say seems a little dated, that is why. I thought I could get away with the Chargers comment, but here we are.
Oh, I was thinking, how did I miss it? It was a Thursday night.
Yeah, that was hey, look, man, that's years of rolling with Adam Carolla when you say how you planned on the Chargers game, and yeah, it's in 3 hours. I can't make it, but what are you gonna do?
So we're going to start a new thing for the 2024. We're going to have either a comment or a best of the week and give away swag every week. So
yes, we are.
Who's got the best, right, Gary?
Yes, we are. And I've yet to see mock-ups, but I've been collaborating on the design, and I am very optimistic that this is going to be some cool stuff. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it, and I'm looking forward to being able to send it out to some of our loyal listeners so that they can rock some reasonable doubt swag around town.
I love it. And I want you to have the best weekend possible.
Thank you so much, Mark. It means the world to me. I appreciate it. Thank you for making some time for us here on a Sunday, Thursday. I don't know what day it is, but we appreciate your time as always, and always enjoy your analysis. Thanks again.
Thanks, Gary. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Reasonable Doubt. Subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/Reasonable Doubt Podcast.